Hello ladies and gentlemen, in today's video I'm going to give you a sneak peek behind in one of my recent private trainings where I reveal how we use Clay AI and automation in order to scale up agencies without having to hire lots of employees. So I walk you through the exact method, the 2024 agency model, and how you can place an operations integrator in your business around about a cost of $1,000 to $1,500 a month to basically manage all of the lead generation. So hope you enjoy the video and I'll catch you soon. So client attraction system, like most agencies don't have a real client attraction system. So that relies on one-to-many outreach, one-to-one outreach, Dream 100 campaigns, and LinkedIn and email outreach campaigns. So having a consistent flow of getting leads inbound that works every month and you can turn it on and off like a tap is very, very important. And then once you get the leads, you need a client conversion system. So a client conversion system, I call it the signature sales pitch deck. And this is something I've defined. It's generated us easily over 4 or 5 million in terms of perm net fee income from this pitch deck, where I pitched it to over 160 clients, won a lot of them exclusive retained. So you can actually get the lead, but you can also convert them ahead of your competition, which is very, very important. And then once you've got the clients and you've got the jobs, you need a remote sourcing system. So it's chicken and egg. So when you start your agency, you've probably seen this, you try and bust a gut to try and win clients. You get your first client, you get a job in, and then you haven't got any connections with candidates, or you can't get candidate CVs, you can't get candidates across the line fast enough, and you lose it to your competition. Then you've got to start all over again. So what you really need to build is a remote sourcing system with some automation as well, and a structured process where you've got outreach happening all of the time in your candidate niche without you having to do that. Because as business owners, and especially recruitment business owners, we wear so many different hats. The last thing you can do is waste 20 to 30 hours a week sourcing candidates. And then once you've done that, the final piece of the jigsaw is a delivery machine. So that's a way that you can actually make placements without you doing them yourself. So it gets to a point, at some point, where you want to stop being a solopreneur and you actually want to have what we call delivery consultants, or 180 recruiters that can actually do the placements for you. So that way you can make money whilst you're on holiday, you can make money whilst you're working on other business ventures, and you can make money whilst you're winning more new business in your agency. So hopefully that makes sense. Just checking in, everyone can hear me, everything making sense so far, just type a yes in the chat just so I know. Welcome to everyone else that just joined. Welcome Andrew, welcome again Ken. Yeah, everyone can hear me, great. Okay, so 7-figure agency roadmap. So you might have seen a quick poll in there. Some people have probably already voted, which I've seen pretty much a lot of you have. Start phase, for those that don't know, is, yeah, you're starting up. So you're either a recruitment consultant or lead or manager, and you want to start your own recruitment agency. So that's why you're in start phase. 0 to 100K. Profitability is very high, 80, 90%. And your main problem is get your first client, make your first placement, and really figuring out how do I actually build an agency. That's start phase. Solopreneur phase is probably the sweet spot. So I've just seen on the poll here, which I'll reveal in a second, 47%. So almost half of you on this call today are solopreneurs, which is great. So you should be between around about 100K to around about 250K. Some people that might be a little bit above, a little bit below. Your profitability is always high, so 70%, because you're trading time for money. Okay, so you're putting out easily, I know for a fact, you're doing 50, 60-hour weeks, and your main problems are probably low fee paying clients, not enough good clients, no retained clients. Hiring, probably firing your first employee. So you probably hired and fired a 360 recruiter, or you've tried to hire a VA and you didn't onboard them correctly. You didn't have the right systems in place. You maybe have tried to find a sourcer. Again, you didn't give them the right type of structure, SOPs, and onboarding to make them be successful. And really building your agency. So you probably work too many hours. You're making some placements, and it's probably feast and famine. So 1 month you might be doing 2 or 3 placements, the next month 0, next month 0, next month 2. Then trying to win a client, you've lost a client, and it's just a constant cycle. So what you tend to find is, I've seen with solopreneurs, they never go in a linear progression. It's just very steady, and you'll get to a point where you're comfortable, and that's pretty much all you'll do. So it's normally around about 10 to 20K months on average a solopreneur does. But then when you add in all of the systems and the stuff that I'm going to show you with today, you can really take that solopreneur model to a really nice and tidy 500-600K profit a year. The next phase is what I call boutique agency phase, so like a small boutique agency. So that's where you are not just doing placements yourself. So you've either got a couple of sources, you've maybe got an ops person, you've maybe got a delivery consultant. And your main problem then is hiring the right people, onboarding them, ops, management, SOPs. You're working a lot in the business still, so you're still having to cover because you've got employees. You're having to make sure that if they're not performing, you need to perform and dive in and do the deals, make the placements. And then it's really productizing your services and gaining exclusivity. I would say this the boutique agency phase. So there's around about 20% of you in that right now. That is what I would call the new wilderness stage. So one of my good friends, Daniel Priestley, founder and author of many books, Entrepreneur Revolution being one of them and oversubscribed. He talks about when you get 13 employees, that's your wilderness stage. In recruitment agency world, your wilderness stage is really around about the 4 to 7 employees. That's probably where you don't want to be because you're too small and you're not really a 7-figure agency where you're putting and you've got a good reputation in the market, you can deliver 100K a month, and you'll pretty much probably work in the hardest in small boutique agency phase, trying your best to get to 7-figure agency. So sometimes the sweet spot is either solopreneur, but not how you are right now with all of the systems automation and the remote team of sources and ops, or you want to be in 7-figure agency stage. What you don't want to be is definitely not in startup phase or small boutique agency phase. So hopefully that makes sense. If you've got any questions also in the chat, feel free to put them in. Basically, I'm just going to go through the order of the questions as and when. So hopefully that makes sense. I think everyone's pretty much voted for this now, so I'll show you the poll. So you'll see 31% of everyone on today's session is starter. The main part, 45%, is solopreneur, but we want to flip that solopreneur into what I would call a fully leveraged solopreneur. Boutique agency is 70%, so we need to get all of you up to 7-figure agency phase, which a lot of this roadmap will help you with as well. So I'll just share the results and you can see that. Okay, so the roadmap. So feel free if you want to take a screenshot, a copy of this, so you can keep it and put it on your wall or as a roadmap. This is pretty much the roadmap that I developed over the last 10 years running my own agency, figuring everything out myself, trying to work out what are the best tools, what are the best automation tools, what are the best VA systems, what are the best sourcing systems, every single thing. And what I did, I boiled it down to the key fundamentals of what you need at every stage. So your 0 to 10K, this is your bread and butter. These are the foundations you need in every business. And some 7-figure agencies don't even have this foundation. So this is how, if we choose to work together, maybe in the future, what we build out first. Like what you need is a solid client acquisition system, live lead system. So every time in your market, there's a live leads coming out, which I'm going to show you with what you can do with Clay. We've got our clients now where we plug in this system where every single lead, let's say, for instance, for us, it might be software engineers in the northeast of England. As soon as any client posts any job like that, we've got Clay going, it'll scrape that job, it'll find it within 10 seconds of being posted, it'll find the correct hiring manager, it'll verify their email address, it will add it in a campaign and instantly that we've plugged in, so that's a cool email outreach software into Clay. And it'll pre-write up using our ChatGPT script, a 3 to 5 stage email sequence that will drip out straight away to that hiring manager to try and get the job on. So that's running in the background. That's a machine. And you can imagine, look, it might not pull jobs all of the time, but even if it's pulling a job a month or every few weeks, that could be an extra 100K, 200K of revenue jobs that you can place at. So that's just one strategy. Delegate LinkedIn chat with your VA and your marketing sourcer. And then obviously as we go to 20, 40K, so that's most of you in the solopreneur phase, once you've got the foundations built, it's the mid-tier that you need built out next. So having your signature service pitch deck here in the middle to make sure that you can pitch, retain, and exclusive business. Building out the correct candidate nurture campaign. So you might have in your ATS a lot of candidates, but you're not really reaching out to them properly. You might get a job in and you spec it out to all of the candidates. You need a real automated sequence that's nurturing these candidates every single month, because once you get a good candidate in your niche, you can place them. Hiring your first delivery consultant, freeing up 1 day a week. So I always talk about how I built my business, Ronald James, from day one. I only ever wanted to work 4 days a week, and I really kept that promise. Yes, there was times I might work 50, 60 hours a week figuring this out, but once I got everything dialed in, I always took Mondays off. So I called it Blue Sky Thinking Mondays. A lot of my friends have adapted this now, so I'd get a nice journal, a book, and I'd go to the coffee shop and I'd plan working on the business that day. And that really freed me up. But I could only do that with the right systems in place. Again, Dream 100 campaigns, magic letter, winning retainers. These are the key things that you want to have 20 to 40K a month. So these are between 2 to 4 deals a month. And then as you scale to 7-figure agency, attract, deliver, systemized scale,
it's building out your marketing source and system, really dialing in inbound marketing, because you need to make sure that you're consistent with inbound marketing and really systemizing the ops. So play automation and Integrator, which is something I'm going to cover today. That's going to be, as you scale, can really leverage a lot more time that you're going to buy back. So why are we building a business in the first place? So who has heard of Michael Gerber or read the book E-Myth? For those of you that have joined one of these sessions before, you probably know what I'm talking about, but for those that are new, let me know yes or no if you've heard of the E-Myth. So basically, the premise of the book E-Myth is Michael talks about, regardless of how much you may identify with being an entrepreneur, it's really a myth, because most businesses are started by them, i.e. us, but our definition of entrepreneurs are people who go into business with a vision of a company they want to create that doesn't rely on their own ability to produce results. Now, what that exactly means is we've all started a business for freedom, okay? And disagree with me if you want in the chat, but from everything that all of the agency owners I've helped is freedom. So freedom to work where I want, when I want, and do what I want, and have the financial freedom to be able to do that as well. And what happens when you start a recruitment business, and a lot of you on the solopreneur phase, very, very hard to build a real business, okay? Because most businesses are in fact started by what he calls technicians, or what we would call recruiters. So these are basically glorified recruiters that are still doing the recruitment part. So they're people who create a place to go to work for themselves instead of working as an employee. And they make that fatal assumption that understanding the technical work or the recruitment parts, i.e. being a good recruiter, means they'll be successful in building a business that does the recruitment work. And we know that's an assumption that's just not true. And it's not only the primary cause of most of the failure rate with recruitment businesses in general. Half of businesses never make it to the 5th year anniversary. And that's the same in recruitment world. It leaves the survivors in survival mode, and many just hanging on, and others having just lost their passion because it's just not having fun anymore. Just out of interest, so for those of you that are on the webinar right now, how many years have you been in your business right now? So just put a figure number. So 8 years, 2 years, 1 year. And obviously your startup phase will be 0, just to get an idea. So we've got, wow, so we've got a big range here. So we've got 0, 7, 9, 3, 10, 4, 2, 1, 2, 2, 15, Linda. Welcome, Linda. 8, over 20 for Francisca. 1.5, 10 years, 1, 4, 1, 6, 10, 10, 14, 8, 6. Big range. There's a lot of over 10, I would say as well, which is interesting to 4 years, 13 years for 18 years, Scott. So you'll see, like, what you tend to find is in recruitment, and when you start your own business like this, you end up being in this industry for a long time, if not pretty much your full lifespan of business is achieving 100. So, and what you'll tend to find is a lot of people aren't having fun anymore. And that, like when you drive a car and you drive to your local shop or your supermarket or where it is, you realize, you look back and think, how did you get there? Did you take the like left turn, right turn? Did you remember when you put the indicator on? All these things where you're going in your subconscious, just driving through to the shops without even thinking about how you're driving. This is the same for your business. You're doing the same things over and over again. You get the same income. And for one reason, because you've been in it a long time now, and you think that is just how it is, and you just can't get unstuck. And it's very hard to get the passion and enthusiasm. So my point to you is, like, you're all on here for one reason or another. And one reason is that you want to do something different. You realize that things need to change. And this could be the stepping stone for you making things change, because you do not want to get to the point where your business isn't fun anymore. And probably for some of you on this session right now, if you're honest with yourself, you probably hate your business, or it's just not fun anymore. And that's a really sad way for it to be, but it doesn't have to be that way forever. Like, things can change and turn a corner. We've had plenty of people that have been 10 years plus 20 years in the game of recruitment and been blown away, which I'm going to show you later on, of how they've changed a business pretty much within 2 or 3 weeks. James hates the inconsistency. Very, very true. Okay, so one thing's for sure is, let me just go back a slide. So if you're a recruitment agency owner, you may be outstanding at recruitment and for another agency, but it doesn't mean you're prepared to build a real recruitment firm that can thrive whether you are in the business or not. Because that can only get you so far. You being a good recruiter and being able to build can only get you so far. Because at a certain point, you can't help but feel the impact of all the demands of owning and operating a business that you really weren't prepared for. Now, I'm trying to stay on top of everything. It can be pretty overwhelming. And you can spend a lot of time working without feeling you're getting anywhere. And really, it's a tragic expenditure of time and effort. We all know we're on this planet for not a long time, guys. And time is finite and we can't buy it back. And it doesn't have to be that way. So working on it, not just in it, can change everything. And this was the big game changer when I met Michael Gerber, the first year in my business. And the call to work on it is a call to think the way a true entrepreneur thinks. To the entrepreneur, the business operates without them. So remember when I said, when I start my business, I said I didn't want to do placements and I didn't want to work on Mondays. I just had a thing for Mondays. Like I was working in a recruitment agency and I happened to, when you were Sunday and you rest and then you back in Monday morning again, like the dreaded Monday morning. I wanted to eliminate that and have Mondays as fun. So to the technician or the recruiter, the business operates because of them. And a lot of you are in that position now. Everything that happens in terms of clients, job boards, everything happens because of you. Now, what we want to do is build a real recruitment company. Whether that's a 7-figure agency or what I would call a highly leveraged agency. Now, the recruitment, you make some profits, so you make some placements, and then you realize they are a slave to their own machine because if they stop, the business stops, and then the money stops. So basically, you have a job. And you see this probably in the summer when you're taking holidays off. Like, I'm going to show you some actual live examples of some of our clients that took holidays off and placements happened without them. And their sources found candidates and pulled jobs without them, signed terms with clients without them. All of these things was a big game changer for them when they took the holidays off. Okay, so my video keeps stripping, so bear with me 1 second, and I'm just gonna move indoors just to make it a little bit more clear because it might be the Wi-Fi signal. So one second. I'm just going to change locations. Okay, so can everyone hear me okay now? And the signal should be better. So apologies about that. Yeah, all good. Okay, so where were you? So building a real recruitment company. So a business that has systems and a self-management team grows, makes profit, and doesn't need you day to day. And one thing I want to ask you right now is how much are you in the business right now? So that means doing everything. Are you working in the business versus on it? So some people might be 100%, some people might be 90% in it, some people might be 80%, 50%, just to give me an idea. So Andrew's everything, 100%, 100% Luke. Darren, 100% married to it. James, 110%. Okay, so a lot of hundreds there. Okay, so it's fair to say that 50% Lindsay, which is good. Connie, 40%, which is good. So there's a lot of you in 100%. So it's fair to say that a lot of things have to change. So the reason why it's important not to be 100% in your business, whatever results you had last month, last year, the year before, it will repeat because you're not doing any time to change anything, to implement any new strategies, because you're just in it with blinkers on, just doing it, just pedaling that bike. So the big paradigm shift for everyone right now is all of you that are 100, it needs to change. And it can start from Monday. Blue sky thinking Mondays. And how I did that first was I would take half a day off on Monday. So I wouldn't start my day till 1 in the afternoon on Monday. Emails can wait, things can wait on Monday. So you could start off in a coffee shop till 1 o'clock. Go to the gym, do what you want in the morning, relax, and then plan your week. That's one way you could do it. And then eventually start easing on to full Monday off. But again, you need some systems, you need some strategies to do that, which is how I'll help you today. So why remove yourself? Well, why we started the business in the first place? Remember, we talked about freedom, financial freedom, but so you can spend more time on high value tasks, just making more money, working on it, not in it, have more fun, get the business fun again, take holidays when you want, make more money, and most importantly, things don't stop when you stop. That's the most important thing why you need to remove yourself and implement this. So the outsourced method of remote teams. So everyone, welcome to take a screenshot of this. Now, this is how my team works. My team's a little bit bigger than this model, but this is what I would call the perfect 7-figure agency model. And you can tweak this for the solopreneurs that just want to have 2 or 3 remote sources and ops. It works really well as well. Yeah, Lindsay, you want to travel more? Okay, so this is what we call the 2024 agency model. This is something that I talked about extensively inside our program as well. Obviously, we've got the systems there, projections, team, goals, tool stack. So on the left-hand side, there's more systems to that, but the key systems is having a really dialed-in client acquisition system, having a candidate sourcing machine that's consistently getting candidates inbound to you, into your diary or your recruiter's diary, a consistent signature sales pitch deck that can close retained and exclusive business, inbound automation that really dials in to connect in with every candidate, to nurture every candidate and every client, and operational excellence. So having an ops integrator VA that's working on all of the Zapier links, the automation, the clay.com, which is something I'm going to cover today. Those are the key systems, okay? Now, projections. Now, you can take on delivery consultants if you want, so you can replace yourself with maybe 3 delivery consultants, or you could have you and 1 delivery consultant, which a lot of people have in the program. The main piece down here is like your marketing sourcing side. So having the marketing sources, and these are the sources that are doing video outreach, voice note outreach, LinkedIn selfies, email outreach. They're doing all the social media. There's a lot that we train them to do for you to place in your agency, and then 1 can graduate to marketing sourcing lead. Now, the cost of this, for instance, is $1,000 a month each sourcer. So between $1,000 and $1,200, which again, I'm going to dive into today. 1 remote operations VA. You might have a general VA. So like this team here on the right-hand side is pretty much going to cost $5K a month, so not even 1 placement. And then your delivery consultants, obviously, you're going to be paying commission-wise. Now, the delivery consultants, we can, what we've developed and evolved is using South Africa or South America, and they are pretty much 1/3 of the price of a UK recruiter or a US recruiter. So a lot of people in our program now have graduated the marketing source and they've evolved to being a delivery consultant. And they're doing deals of 20, 30K placements a month, and you're probably paying them 2K a month, including commission, to 3K a month. So big profit margins and less risk. There's one thing I've seen with a lot of solopreneur agencies that's holding back is you're very scared to have the risk of responsibility of paying their wages every month. It's more pressure on your shoulders, okay? So we try and take that away in this model as much as possible. Looks asking, are the deals in their local countries or global? No, these are UK. So they're based in South Africa, but they're working for UK companies or US companies. Or Europe, if that makes sense. Which I'm gonna show you a little bit more on this session. And then, so that's your team. So you could have a team of between 4 to 8 or 9 in your team. You might choose to have a PA, whether they're remote or in office. I love having my PA. I think it's a big thing. Like once you get to like consistent 50, 60, 70K months, it's a big thing. But basically your 4 delivery consultants on this projections here could generate £1 million in terms of per revenue fees. And your cost probably wouldn't even, I'm doing it really reserved of like a 50% cost basis. So let's say all in 20% to 25% comms and costs for your delivery consultant, and then your sources. It can be even higher profit margins if everything's in South Africa and you go through us with the sources, that type of thing. It could be even cheaper. But to do $1 million a year, and this is without you, okay? So you've got 2 differences. So your solopreneur fully leveraged model will be you doing the deals, still placements yourself, but you've got a team of 2 or 3 sources, 1 ops and maybe 1 PA. So you make high profit margins, 70, 80%. And you can probably still do 5, 6, 700K a year in fees, and you probably take home 500K or 600K of that. Or you can have a 7-figure agency where you've got 4 delivery consultants that pretty much replace you, because always one's going to be shit, one's going to be average. You might have a couple of superstars. That's how it's always going to work. So you never want to be stuck with just 1, for example. The same with the sources. We always say build a team of the sourcing team because it's an asset. So your goal will be around about 80K per month if you wanted to get to that magic million a year. And these are the key goals: grow your candidate webinars so you can attract candidates inbound, which is something we teach in the program. Build your brand, win more retainers, keep the expenses low, build a strong remote culture, and get more inbound candidates. In your tool stack, there's a few more in there now with clay.com, for example, that we've added in. But these are the main foundations. Dripify, we recommend. Instantly is an email outreach tool we recommend. Slack to manage all of your business. Very, very important you own Slack. Streak CRM manages your client leads. An ATS system is very important as well. Active Campaign you can use to nurture, but that's probably something if you need further down the line, you don't need it now. G Suite, boom. Better Proposals is the tool that we use to pitch the retained. Yeah, Clay's getting added on because when I recorded this last time, we didn't have Clay in there, but don't worry, we're going to, well spotted on how we're covering this in a second. And then Hubstaff to manage your remote team, job boards. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the core stack that you would need. Google Workspace and email calendar for every client. No, you don't need that for clients. This is just for your team. You would need. ClickUp's good. We use that internally for the agency blueprint. So our customer success team use ClickUp. It's a good tool project management wise. Your clients are using whatever they need. Like you don't need to worry what email they use. What CRM do you use to track your biz dev sales efforts? So we use Streak CRM for your lead management tools. So client acquisition system, once you've dialed that in with Clay instantly, and your outreach maybe with Apollo for data, then I like having Streak CRM to deal with the maybe responses and yes responses because it sits in the Gmail inbox. Works really well. Any other questions on this model before I move to the next piece? I just want to make sure everyone's getting the questions answered. Shazad, I think Dripify can do the job well. Depends on niche. Yeah, I recommend Dripify. We're quite big on Dripify, and there's hundreds of our clients inside the program. We said to use Dripify. Hi Linda, good insurance company. It just depends where you are. What do you mean an insurance company? Do you mean for just standard business insurance, or is this for like contractor candidates? And one thing you can do with Instantly now is you can buy domains through then host your Gmail through there. And basically they do all of the DMARC settings, the SKIM, like all DKIM, like all of those annoying little sequences to have more domains is pretty much done in Instantly. So something I recommend. Yeah, Hiscox is what we use as well. Thanks for that, Colin. You shouldn't not be sure on Slack. Just use Slack. It's the best. I've got 4 of my companies all remote in Slack, and that's the main tool that everything's run through. If you want to use Microsoft Teams, use Teams. Like I said, I mean, whether you're using Slack or Teams, it's not going to help you make an extra few million a year, for example. It's a tool to communicate. So, yeah, we used to use Venturi 4 or 5 years ago. Again, they've got too big, got took over, I think, by Volvo or whatever. Every one of you that are on this webinar do not need that type of ATS or CRM system. Because you're the solopreneur that's going to be going more leverage, or you're going to be some figure agency, but it's going to be very boutique to 8 to 10 people. So you don't actually need that level of CRM. Yeah, just not a fan of Microsoft. I think Google's just so much more open source. There's so many more plugins. It just works seamlessly. Microsoft, again, no one needs Microsoft unless you're going to build a company bigger than 15, 20 people. Really, Microsoft's built for enterprise level clients. Yeah, we still use Recruiter, Nicole. Hygienist, okay. I haven't tested that one, but I don't know if I haven't heard good or bad things. So you can book in a call with Recruiter, they're one of our partners. So if you speak to Manan, tell them you with James Blackwell Agency Blueprint, and they give you a discount as well. I have go high level from another business. It's not really something that would work for us. Ronald is a good system. Yeah. Okay, so what is the marketing sourcing system? So I talked about this team here. For every solopreneur that's on here, in particular, for all of you that are on here, startup phase, is for the startup phase, you need to get clients first. You need a solid client acquisition system, a proven way to get clients, and a proven way to pitch them. Because you're not going to win new business over bigger agencies than you or people that are more hungry than you. So you need a way to stand out. So it's very important as well. So the marketing sourcing system, this is an unsourced marketing effort to sourcing more candidates into your diary whilst increasing your brand. So it's twofold. So imagine you've got these sources, so they're out there working under your brand in your company. So it shows that you're a bigger person than just a one-person agency. And they're reaching out to every candidate, video outreach, voice note follow-ups. They've got templates that they get trained on with us. You get video outreach training with us. In the academy, they get voice note training with us, and how they actually chat. So it's like DM chatters on candidates. All the stuff that you do in sourcing gets eliminated and it moves to the marketing sources. Now, the benefits of this is, one, they source more candidates into your diary. The second kicker is, even if they didn't source many candidates at the start in your diary, it's increasing your brand exposure and the omnipresence. So all of you came on this webinar organically through one way or another, whether you've seen me on Facebook, LinkedIn, email list, a post, a LinkedIn invitation. That's an omnipresence, okay? Same with the marketing sources. So they're reaching out to your target market every single day. And each candidate gets an outreach maybe every 4 weeks to 6 weeks. Every time a good candidate comes on the market, who they're going to think of? They're going to think of the 10, 15 other agencies that just DM'd job specs, or him or her job specs or a message, or the pretty bubbly marketing sourcer that took the time to record a personal video, voice note follow-up, started adding value. It's actually, I see it as paid advertising. So if you've got a sourcer that you're paying $1,200 a month for, I'm paying $1,200 a month to advertise my business to all of the candidates that I can make 10, 20K placement from eventually, which gives me what? 2000x ROI. So that's the genius of the marketing sourcing system. And on average, it helps you and your consultants make an average of 2 to 3 extra deals per month once it's fully dialed in. So what they do, video outreach, Loom videos, LinkedIn selfie videos. Because you don't want to do them, and one of your recruiters definitely doesn't want to do it. So if you have a marketing source that's just trained to do this as their unique job, you get so much more leverage, you get so much more outreach, you get so much more placements done. Follow-up messages to candidates, help your consultants close more deals, social media posts, candidate nurture emails, increasing the brand awareness. They do the job board searches, scrape all the job boards, get the job boards onto the ATS, help you push events and webinars online, daily personalized advertisements for your business. We use the ATS, so your CRM system, you've probably got 10,000 candidates on there, so they can email until they get the candidates connected on LinkedIn. Or they can use your LinkedIn with voice notes or video saying, hey, my name's Sarah, Colin asked me to reach out, I'm his PA or whatever it is, to bring some status, and you can do a reach out with until they get up to speed. The whole idea of the marketing sources, they'll get 30 to 40% connection rate, so it just takes time to ramp up. But in the meantime, job boards and your email list from your ATS. So how much does the cost? Between $800 to $1,200 per month working remote. You can offer incentives for each candidate that is successfully placed. So on average, we reverse engineer that to around $200 to $400. And that's going to save you 20 hours per week or your recruiter's time to make more placements. The whole idea is buying back time so you can get out of that solopreneur phase where you're doing everything. This is just a screenshot of so we've got a marketing sourcing academy. We've had almost 180 sources that we've found, trained, and placed in our agency clients. This is just one Zoom meeting, 2 pages, you can see there, of all the sources that come on from all the different agencies, trained by our head of marketing department on sourcing and outreach. These are the type of posts and video jobs that they do. Yeah. So Stuart is asking, are there any particular outsourced BA providers in South Africa that you recommend? Yes, us. That's what we do. Sure. Just we do this for you. So we find them, we train them in the academy for 4 or 6 months, and we place them with you. So then you need to pay them their salary. So they're your employees, we find them and train them for you. Yeah. So these are just some of the wins of people at work. Gary Dillon, he's in our 7-figure lead program, does over $1 million in his agency now. His snapshot earlier, one of the new South African sources identified, connected, forwarded a good candidate to me, helped me submit the client for interview, hired, first placement in week 7, and it made 13,800 euros. And it probably cost 1K to pay them. And this is a candidate that Gary wouldn't have found himself, or his team wouldn't have found himself. So, yeah, three submitted for Suzanne to the bottom left-hand corner, 3 placements made by our marketing sources, £17,600 placed. 3 jobs filled by a candidate sourced by our marketing sources based in South Africa. These are all through our process and system. We found them, sourced them, trained them. And this is everything they do in terms of outreach. Videos work, Carmine, Mohammed, 5 deals in this week, none done by him or his business partner, Danny, deal sourced by the South African marketing team. Arena, great example. I just took the screenshot from last month, so 3 weeks ago. 5th placement made yesterday for our account manager role we were working on. Really happy about this. This is a marketing source. 15 calls booked in for the week, 2 candidates, client interview, 1 got an offer. Rowena, again, she went on holiday. So as I said before, I'm going to show you a story about one of the other members inside the program. Rowena went on holiday in Egypt for 2 weeks, one of her first holidays for a while. And her marketing sourcer actually secured 3 placements while she was on holiday. So the sourcer organized the interviews, liaised with the clients and candidates, and made the placements. So as Rona said, this is the first holiday since setting up our business, and she's been in, I think, 8 to 10 years, that I've actually been able to stop working and completely relax and just came back to 3 placements. This is a snapshot from the marketing sourcer because we've got the group of the sources in. She's said, I just wanted to share my win. I've made my 2nd and 3rd placement since joining in May. So within what 2-3 months, she's made 3 placements. So that's how the marketing sourcing system works. For anyone, obviously I'm going to cover off a little bit more on this in detail for those that are interested. For those that are interested in booking a call for this, I'll just pop you a link. We can walk you through a demo, exactly how the sourcing system works, how we get onboarded, the costings, etc., how we pay them, anything that you need question-wise. Feel free to book in a call. My team is live, ready now. You can book in a call within the next hour, and they can walk you through that for those that are interested. Okay, so someone mentioned, James, you haven't said anything about Clay. Okay, so the AI method for using Clay. So one of the key things I'm going to give you today for everyone that came on live, like I promised, is the Clay Recruitment Playbook. So this is just one of the playbooks that we use, that we implement in with teams that we help. 48 pages to scale your business with Clay. Clay is very powerful, okay? So I was just on the call with one of our coaches inside the program, George, who's one of our Clay experts, and Greyhan, our other Clay expert. And there's just so much you can do with Clay. The problem is you can run away with it as well. So one thing that my job is, with all my experience scaling recruitment agencies, is you don't want to automate too much. So you don't want to get carried away with like building too many Clay playbooks and too many sequences, because then it just gets too convoluted. The most important thing is it going to buy me back some time? Is it going to make me more placements? Those are the 2 questions you ask with every single Clay playbook that you're going to implement, okay? Michael, thanks for not having a proper chat. I don't know what you said there. Okay, so basically what you can do, so the first thing that scenario 1, for example, with Clay, the first thing you can do, you can auto script live jobs and write a personalized message to it. Remember what I said before about how you can have the live lead system, and when a job in your niche, say it's a software engineer in Newcastle, soon as you cover the market faster than anyone else, and you get an outreach messages to that hiring manager, boom, within 5 minutes of being posted. And basically, Clay can go in and find the jobs. You can do the search criteria in here. So there's a step-by-step process of how you do it. So how you search for the job titles in here, software developer, New York, for example. How you import the options, so how you're going to import and enrich your data. How you're going to find the contacts. So the next step is you need to find your contacts. I'm not going to go through all of this. For those that are interested in having this blueprint workbook, more than happy to give it to you. So just type in yes in the chat, and I can ping it in. And yeah, so this is how it's going to find all of the jobs. This is Clay at work, finding the job URL, finding the point of contact. So it'll tell you if it's found the point of contact or not. Scraping the job description. So basically what this does is it'll find the job spec. It'll see the key nuances that are in that job spec that are unique, different to the other companies. And then it can craft a personalized ChatGPT message mentioning those little nuance things. So it means the outreach message is hyper personalized as well. So it doesn't look automated. Okay, so a lot of you want this, which is cool. I'll probably give it to you. And then the job search. So that let me share this. Okay. I'm just going to pop it in the chat now. No one else needs to say yes, by the way, just so you're not clogging up the chat. And I've just popped it in there for you all. So you should all have a copy of that now. And then it's doing the job search. So look, like I built this and I'm giving, so our operations team implement this in our agency and the agencies that are inside our Accelerate program. So I'm just giving it to you as a gesture for free, and you can implement it yourself. My personal opinion on this is you do not want to waste too much time becoming a Clay expert. It will not make you more money. It will not really free up your time anymore or cost you more time. But for those that are passionate about it, so maybe 1 in 50 of you might actually love doing this Clay and going down the rabbit hole and spending hours and hours like I have and the team have. Clay, I've got no association with Clay, but I'll give you an example. I think the ones, because we can actually install this for you with our Clay expert, and we can set up all of those campaigns, all of the playbooks, so it just works, and away it goes. You've got live leads and you never have to do it again, or you can do it yourself. So I think so the pay monthly plan is 349, which is 10,000 credits of like these are like the Clay searches and outreach. That's pretty much, you can get away with the starter phase depending on how much scale you want to do. So you could start with starter phase, and you could maybe, most people are on the 349. So, but you're buying back time. So you're doing outreach that if it just pays for one placement or one client that you find in the next 12 months, it's what costs you 4K for that. We probably made a 10, 15K placement into a client. I mean, that's an extreme scenario. Like you're going to make probably way more than that. Yeah, it's protected IP, Michael. So of course you can't download it. So we don't want this copied and just sent out to anyone else. I'm giving it for you for personal use. So if you wanted to download it and copy it, then that's the reason why it won't work on Google. Can you clarify if Clay will be used for client or candidate acquisition both? So there's stuff it can do for both. So repeatable jobs. So the most important thing at the start when you implement Clay is client outreach, because candidate outreach is, I still believe the marketing sourcing model and what I was showing you about the personalized outreach is very, very important, especially in 2024, 2025. Every candidate's inundated with messages. The last thing they want is another automated message, okay? So it's very important you have the marketing sources to do the outreach with candidates. The only reason you would use Clay, I think, for a lot of the candidate outreach is if you're in a big one-to-many space, blue-collar workers and just volume-based recruitment. But if you're niche-based recruitment, you don't want to do too much on Clay on the candidate side straight away. It should be more about client outreach, okay? So this is why we've got the scenarios in here in the playbook for that. Okay, so everyone's cool, Clay? Any questions on this? Everyone's got the copy. So this is just, yeah, some of the strategies that you can go in and implement. And like I said, you can go down a rabbit hole, you can get someone to install it. So you can find people on Upwork. You can speak to our team. Like I said, we've got specialists in Clay. And I'll give you an example of this with our specialist. One of our clients 6 days ago got a client from George's email strategy with our Clay expert. So thanks, George. Love your approach. Before he did cold email outreach himself, he had 3,000 emails. He got no responses. Then he used our playbook. We typed up and implemented the email strategy for him. He got 2 meetings straight away of an outreach of 500. So the difference is it's not the tools, it's how you apply it and how you implement it, which is very, very important. So like when you come into the program here, we roadmap everything out for you. So obviously mindset's a big thing, but the rest of the pieces like building up the client outreach campaign, so defining your niche market, building your client maps, setting up the campaign. So we help set this for you, the client outreach, your automation tools, making sure the copy's right, the email campaigns are right, the video outreach is right, the 3-100, the LinkedIn automation, and then you're hiring your first ops VA. That's the first part of clients. And then said with candidates is obviously LinkedIn automation, video outreach, setting up the email nurture campaigns, job fill matrix, and then your marketing sourcer. These are the key pieces that we help you implement on both sides. I think someone was asking about the candidate side. Yeah, you should be able to just make a copy of this. So on here, you should just be able to. or you just keep the document how it is. It's got the SOPs on. Okay, so questions on this is this wise to use Apollo to find candidate emails and send them a job opportunity since not good tools except a few that offers email finder? Yep, Apollo's been working really well for a lot of members inside the program. So yeah, Apollo is something I would recommend, and that can work really well. Naomi, did you mention who would be managing Clay, or will it be from your team? Yeah, so you would take the Clay out and we can implement those playbooks and install them in for you, custom. And then you could have, which is what I'm going to come on to, because once you've got Clay set up, for example, you're going to need what I call an ops VA, someone that can do the tech. Because again, you could do it, but it's another 10, 20 hours a week of your time. Or you want to do what you do best, which is pitch high-level clients, win, retain business, deal with the client side, working on the business line. So it depends if you want to work in it more, okay? But there needs to be a shift, especially for you solopreneurs out there. For you to get anywhere past being a solopreneur doing everything yourself, you're going to have to invest in team, and you can do an outsourced team with the sources in South Africa and an ops person. It's going to be a lot lower cost. You can afford to then do an extra 2-3 deals a month, okay? And then you can start building out the system. That's a key thing. And that's the same with you in boutique agency phase and starter phase. So starter phase, get your first client, make your first 10K placement. And then you should be looking at either an ops person or a sourcer, or at least someone to help hold your hand of how you're going to build out the agency. So we're reverse engineer back to Michael Gerber and building the business. All of you people in starter, which I think 30% of you, chances of you succeeding are very, very slim without help, because you need a roadmap of working out how to build a business to just being a good recruiter. So you've already got a lot of people around here that have done that and being solopreneurs, but they're stuck again because they haven't built the foundations of like building your business and having time to work on the business because they've just been recruiters all the time. That makes sense. Okay, so we talked about the marketing sources, we talked about Clay. Now we're going to cover off operations integrators in the actual system. So a remote operations integrator, they are virtual assistants who set up and configure the complete lead generation, tech stack, systems, and Clay. So this is going to free up 20 hours easy a week of your time that you're going to spend building and optimizing your outreach campaigns, as well as testing all these new tools, looking into Clay, implementing them, and just so then you can buy that time back and make more placements per month, make more money, get more food. And what they do, so they're skilled in automation. So we train them, again, in our academy with our experts on all of the lead generation stack that we teach in the program, AIClay.com, and set up the tech stack, they set up the LinkedIn automation, they set up all of the domains, they can do all the templates of the emails, the LinkedIn messages, the market map, the CRM set up, the email inbox, save your automations, or make automations, Calendly set up, everything. And then they're your little AI experts. So as AI is evolving, as you've probably seen with ChatGPT, like taking off, then you've got Clay, then you've got all sorts. You need to stay ahead of the curve. And for you to be cool, solopreneur, new edge, you take advantage of AI and you can beat all of their 20-man, 100-man recruitment agencies out there, because they will be slow to implement this. They will waste a lot of money on experts, consultants, etc., but they'll not know who's going to own it. You have an operations VA in your corner that's going to help build it with you and let us implement playbooks and deploy it. You can get everything deployed in the first 2 weeks. So we can implement the auto scraping live jobs, personalized message outreach, the vacant positions, finding rapidly growing companies on autopilot, setting up an evergreen campaign in Clay, and setting up the client campaign in Clay. We set all of this up for you. And that's what they can do with the operations integrators. So just some wins, Hannah Neworth, for example, it affirms to me there's absolutely no way that I would have been able to do this on my own. And I'm very grateful to you guys in the training and to Morales, who's there, ops VA. And in a matter of 2 weeks, my ops integrator has completely reshaped our tech stack. So this is from Alex. And supercharge our client and candidate outreach. Hiring my operations integrator through the agency Blueprint is the best hiring decision I ever made. Daniel Langley is a great example. Based in the UK, joined our mastermind, does the US market, big fees. And his biggest game changer was operations integrator. It's really implemented his business. Jody shared just recently hiring operations integrator, my best move. Can't express my enough gratitude to Rehan, who's our head of ops. and he's the one that found him, trained him, massive asset to our team. And this is you the sort of building a great remote team that doesn't cost much, but it's giving you so much leverage and giving you so much traction. Daniel Boyle, for example, we just landed our first big client from our live leads automated clay system set up by our ops integrator. Blooms were sent manually, but the leads came from the system. Thanks, Blueprint team. I mean, I could go on and on. Julia just shared, obsessed with my ops integrator. Because once you've got this ops integrator in, anything you see with AI or cool stuff, you can say, look, can you have a look into this? Can we do something with this? And this is you in the mindset of working on the business, not in it. Julia sharing, my ops integrator started yesterday and she's already pushing it. So 1 day in. I'm still early days with the tech stack at Agents Blueprint. She's spearheading the full implementation. I haven't had time to do. Recruit flow instantly, Zapier, running email campaigns. I've had Apollo for 6 months, but only used to use to pull email addresses for one ops. I know. So how many of you are that? You buy the tool, look around it, but you don't do anything because you haven't got time to do that. And it's not time best spent. So this ops integrator, one day's done all of that, streamlined internal communications, organized inbox, LinkedIn inbox, website edits, everything. Minimal labor costs. Again, $1,200, $1,500. So operations integrators, we placed 96 ops integrators placed, fully trained. 19 promoted BD managers, so they do all the client outreach. 60 have fully automated outreach systems now installed in their agency. And on average, 2 to 3 client meetings are getting booked per week, 25 hours on average saved per client per week. So all these clients have a mini me deployed in their business. So you've got mini me's both on sources and ops integrators. So I was talking about solopreneurs moving that model. The best way is to replicate yourself and create mini me's of the lower value tasks that you don't want to do. Okay, so if any of you want any help with implementing this, whether it's the full system, whether it's an ops integrator, whether it's Clay, whether it's a sourcer, book in a call today. Not here to heavy sell you. If you want to work with us, great. We'll show you how it works. We'll map everything out. We only want to work with people that are really interested in the new way of thinking with agencies, that want to have more freedom back, that want to make more financial freedom for themselves, and they're sick of doing things the old school way. So if you're interested